Are you serious? Are you serious? Calm down. There were giants in the land. L.A. Marzulli is going to be my guest today on the live broadcast. Starts at 12 noon Eastern at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. He has, of course, a tremendous message and research. He's been to Peru. He has seen the skeletons and the skulls, the giants that once roamed this earth, and he has scientific proof, meeting with archaeologists and others. And today, we're going to find out more. Matter of fact, he'll be joining me today at 12 noon Eastern. You can watch it at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Genesis chapter 6. Let's just read to you 3 or 4 verses to prove that the giants were here. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all that they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. God immediately decided to limit the lifespan of man because of the corruption in our flesh. That's why Paul said, when this corruptible puts on incorruption, or this mortal takes on immortality, when we rise in the likeness of Christ, that's why he was not a corruptible seed. All right, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, the Son of God. But let's read on. And the Lord said, I can't handle it. Okay, I'm cutting down now your lifespan, 120. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same become mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man, whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. He was so upset that the fallen ones, the fallen angels, had begun to bear children among humanity and corrupting God's creation. And then the Lord said these words in verse 8, But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Aren't you glad that we found grace also? Aren't you glad God is a merciful God? Well, anyway, L.A. Marzulli will be with us to talk about, I have to ask him this question. They just found 200 graves in Israel, and they've just released the fact these are the skeletal remains of the Philistines. And we know among the Philistines were giants, Goliath and his ugly brothers and others. So now scientists say they're taking the DNA from those skeletons to study them. We got to understand what's going to come out of this. I'm going to ask L.A. Marzulli, will they take the DNA of the Philistines and try to create the Nephilims, the giants? And will they return? Well, they were here before the flood and after. You just heard me read it. And we know they were, because when Joshua and Caleb went into the land of Canaan, went into the Holy Land, the land of Israel now, they had to fight all of these different tribes of giants. Canaanites, Jebusites, Hittites, Amalekites, Moabites, termites, all kinds of ites, okay? And through the power of God, they were able to prevail. We're in the last days. Jesus says, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. Now we know the Bible says the earth was filled with violence in that day, and man's hearts were on evil continually. But what about the giants? Do they play a role? We'll ask L.A. Marzulli and get some of the latest information on where we stand in these last days with the fallen ones. Are you saved is my biggest question. Have you been washed in the blood? Have you been born again? Because whether there's a giant or not, I know the giant killer. His name is Jesus. I'll be right back in just a minute.